The Pineapple Express rolls into medieval times in the new comedy, Your Highness. Hello, I'm once again returning guest critic on RealScreenReviews.com, and my name is Greg Hill, in case you were wondering. And always a pleasure to be here with my friend Nick Iacobucci.
Always a pleasure to have you here on RealScreenReviews.com, and our next review is Your Highness. Your Highness opened on Friday, April 8th, 2011, and it stars Danny McBride, James Franco, recently Academy Award winner Natalie Portman, and Zoe Deschanel. What's her name? Deschanel, the sister of the girl on Bones. This film comes to us from director David Gordon Green, director of the aforementioned Pineapple Express from 2009. And he combines his talents with medieval times, almost going back to the Excalibur days and combining it kind of with a Naked Gun type premise. But I'll turn it over to my guest critic to fill us in on this adventure.
Well, the movie starts and we see Danny McBride's character, who is about to be put to death for a crime that we don't know the nature of yet.
Right.
And manages to escape his sentence.
That was pretty funny.
It was pretty funny. I won't tell you how he escapes or the circumstances of what happened.
Right.
But it's very funny. And he returns to his kingdom to find that he's, the second son of the king and just a kind of a loser. He mopes around all the time and does a lot of drugs.
Yeah, he's
really not good.
He's not really motivated, we'll say.
Yes, and then
James Franco,
the older brother, comes back from his quest and meets his bride, Zoe Deschanel.
Excuse me.
At his wedding, his bride is captured by the evil wizard Lazar. I think it was.
I think so.
And the king tells
Danny
McBride's character. I can't remember his character name for the life of me, but tells him that he has to go with his brother on this quest to save his love.
And I'd say he's very reluctant to go on this quest.
He's very reluctant.
Okay, well, I'm going to actually take a stab. I'm going to try and guess whether or not Greg actually liked the movie or not. I'm going to say that you did not like this movie.
I didn't love it.
Okay.
But it was entertaining. It was about what I was expecting.
I'll tell you, okay, once again, him and I, we were actually really, really close on this one. I think that this movie is pretty much what I expected it to be going in. However, I will say I was actually taken aback on how raunchy the R-ratedness is. I mean, were you not shocked a few times?
I was shocked a few times. When you see
the necklace that he makes for himself.
Yes, the Minotaur is.
There's the Minotaur mating.
I must say, I found it rather amusing. They have a. The wise man, if what you'll call him, who looks like a jellyfish, is taken on like smoking out of a hookah, and has taken on kind of the sex offender joke. It's really funny.
It's not a great movie, but I did laugh. I hate to say it. I think I was in the theater. The theater was kind of crowded. I think I was sitting next to the three other people that were understanding this film because the four of us were actually laughing out loud, and most of the theater was pretty silent. It is gross. It is disgusting. I think that the main character, Danny McBride's character, is not going to identify with most people.
No.
He is. I mean, he's a goof. He's an absolute hapless goof. He doesn't. And then most of the things, I want to say, he's almost unlikable. But how come I still laughed?
Oh, it's still a very funny movie. Like you said, you just. It takes a little minute. It takes a bit. Blah, 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 blah.
He'll get it.
It takes a minute. It helps when you slow down. It takes a minute to adjust to, like you said, the raunchiness of it. But once you do, it's very funny.
Yeah. This movie had a budget. I mean, the special effects are decent. The costumes, all that stuff. It looks, authentic. It doesn't look like a cheap movie, which I'm not surprised because the Pineapple Express I didn't love the Pineapple Express, but it was at least a well-made film as well. You know what I mean? So,
and that's what you kind of expect. This is the guy who directed Pineapple Express, so you expect to go in seeing the same kind of humor and the same kind of premise
with the zany kind of characters and the special effects. This actually reminded me, an '80s child, of an updated version of Big Trouble in Little China with Kurt Russell and Kim Cattrall from back in the '80s. Not as good as John Carpenter's Big Trouble in Little China, but this was at least entertaining. How many stars are you going to give this?
Like I said, it was entertaining. I gave it 2.5 stars.
Okay.
Still, a good movie, but
I'm gonna give it 2.5 stars too, but I'm gonna call it a very generous 2.5 stars. I think this movie is just going to rub a lot of people the wrong way, and I think if you go in maybe with a couple of beers in you, you're probably going to like it more than the next person. But it's I'm going to say I'm right there with you at 2.5 stars, and I think that this was... It is what it is. I don't think it tries to be something else. This is a really raunchy comedy that I don't think they try to hide that in the trailers or anything. So
yeah, and I will say, as you mentioned, the very recently Academy Award winner Natalie Portman. She's really funny in this movie. Very hot. Yeah. Yes, extremely hot. You get to see her in her underwear as they show in the commercial.
Flex some comedy wings.
She does flex some comedy muscle, and it's actually really funny. What she does in this movie.
So I guess our review for this one's going to be, if this is what you're looking for, then go see it. But if you're at least in the least little bit on shaky ground, I would tell you to avoid this one at all costs because you're probably going to hate it. Well, Greg, thank you so much for joining me to review Your Highness. And Greg, we'll be back to review Fast 5. Fast 5 in about a week. And remember, people,
we're not always right,
but only when it comes to the movies.
And thank you for your attention.